Hey, ladies and gentlemen from across the planet Earth. Thank you so much for being on my channel. And today I will be taking a day out to hang out with my mechanics as we change the Nissan March K13 ATF. And we'll be talking about that moving forward. But let's start off with this because driving can be such an amazing experience, and using a motorcycle, or commonly known as boda here in Nairobi, Kenya, is even a more thrilling experience. Only if you stay safe and if the border guy knows what he is doing. But the highway code by the National Transport and Safety Authority, which is a heavy rule that guides all the road users. As long as you are a road user, there's a lot of stuff that you have to understand. But the big question is, do we do this in Kenya? Accidents have been reported to really seriously increase. And I know that as a person, I have taken so much time to even just yap about how people drive. When we are on the highway, at least with 2 lanes, 4 lanes moving forward, who occupies what lane? Today, the battle between the speeding lane, the service lane, and the lane 1, 2, or 3, depending on how big the road is a battle between motorbikes, personal vehicles, trailers, buses, even cat pullers, if you would be surprised. As you have just seen, that's a motorbike pulling an entire 3-seater sofa set on the highway. Now, that only happens in Kenya. So I took this drive all the way from the Eastern Bypass, Cabanas area, heading towards Westlands. And so this is what the experience was like. But again, like I said, today, we are going to be focusing on how to change the ATF, or the continuously variable transmission system, which belongs to the Nissan March K13, and we'll be looking at the gearbox and how the mechanic does it. But why then do we have to change that? Is because over time this oil becomes dirty, it reduces efficiency, and even at some point you will discover that your acceleration goes lull. The vehicle loses power instantly and may even stall on the road. And this is an experience that I have personally had. And so it was time for a change. But if roads are good, driving is such an amazing experience. And that is what we constantly bay for, hoping that this would be the standard of our roads. Big question here is, we've always had car imports, and when they are second-hand, we bring them into Kenya, into Africa, with mileages of 30,000 kilometers, 40 or even 100 at some point. But here we are today with a battle. And so, transmission slipping is where a vehicle fails to accelerate, and I talked about that. Grinding, the gearbox lubrication, and different stuff of even how to replace. These are things that I have mentioned, and we will be looking at all those and the reason why you need to be able to maintain your car in the best possible ways. So we hit Thika Road, and here we are driving. If you notice anything, tell me, how are people driving? Even my own boda guy, what is he doing that is right or that is wrong? So check out the highway and let's have a slight conversation. I hope you were enjoying this as we go down Utali towards Mathare Hospital and Muthaiga. And now, What has been your experience with road rage? Because many times, sometimes we have accidents and our vehicles begin to have terrible issues because of road rage. We have places where we have terrible roads thanks to our government and local authorities or municipalities, but we have places where the roads are amazing. But what does the behavioral aspect of drivers contribute towards accidents, some fatal and some crazy, on our roads? Is it because of behavior? Have you seen drivers who would be driving slowly on the inner lane or the speeding lane, even having hazards while still on the speeding lane? Have you seen people whom immediately you're planning to overtake them, they also accelerate, remove the hand signal and get onto your lane just like that? Have you seen matatus harass you off your lane? Many things happen on our roads. But as all this goes on, your car needs to be in shape so that even as you put it on the road, then you are so sure that darkness will not get you when your headlamps are not working or when your indicator lights are not working, because you might end up confusing other drivers. But again, today, like I said, we will not be talking more about the driving aspect per se, but we will be focusing on why your transmission system needs to be up to par. Because remember, when you are on the highway doing any speeds between 40, 60, 80 to even 100, you want to be sure that your car can build enough torque power to thrust and be able to move at the speed it needs to move. You can imagine your vehicle stalling in the middle of a highway when you're probably hitting 100. What happens? So it's always good to be careful about driving your car when it has proper service, proper maintenance, proper wheel balancing, and steering straightening, so that when you pay careful attention, then you will be sure that you at least will arrive safe. So as you have seen, good roads are an amazing way of experiencing such a great drive or a ride. No bumps, no disorganized potholes or unannounced potholes, no dust on the roads, and you can confidently drive to your satisfaction. But how much do the status of roads contribute to accidents on our public highways or public roads? From poor lighting, paving to disorganized system of road signage display, all these things come into place. So even the NTSA itself is here blamed for so many reasons just because of road signage, lighting, paving, painting even of bumps, sidelines, and all that stuff. Because we drive on roads that everybody thinks their own idea works better as they go on to drive. And so I just wanted to bring in the aspect of how unsafe some of our roads could be based on multiple issues and characters for different entities within the road network management, construction, and maintenance system. Everybody has a role to play in road safety, whether you're a driver, a cyclist, a sport athlete, a builder in the construction industry, or even the organizations that maintain the roads themselves. Everyone is a stakeholder and contributes to this. But again, like I said, let us now focus on how you maintain your own car and get the vehicle to be roadworthy, because that is very important. Remember, anytime your car stalls, you become an inconvenience to people, as that causes traffic jams, overlapping, road rage, and all manner of things, including more cars that break down in the traffic hallop. As my mechanics are able to open up the oil pan for the engine of the K13 and replace vital parts. This includes the CVT continuously variable transmission filter, the oil pan, the gasket, and the gearbox maintenance to be able to put in a new level of N2 ATF onto the car. So as you have seen, having clearly disengaged these two devices, the oil pan, which the oil settles on, has two very powerful magnets which pull all the dirt out of the transmission fluid and keeps it clean. The CVT filter also is being cleaned here and now almost looks like new. This is, you saw how it looked earlier, and now it has been cleaned and well done in readiness for replacing of the automatic transmission fluid. And this is how well it was done, looking like new. The magnets were all cleaned up to remove all the dirt that they possessed, and we brought in the new oil that was to be put. Again, for this, remember, CVT and ATF all serve different purposes. So you need to be able to know the number of your car so that you do the right thing. These mechanics know their job, and indeed, we gave them the time to be able to work on this. I hope you enjoy what's going on. Here we go under the car. And so, as a person who loves filming, I had to check under the car to know what was the oil pan holding, how is this system actually set up down there so that your transmission does the magic it needs to be. And the mechanics opened it up to be able to clearly identify if everything was up to par. And so this is how it looks down there, and you can see the oil really had to be cleaned up very well so that the engine system and the ATF platform works in congruence in a way that it needs to be. So they removed the oil pan, cleaned it up very well. You can see the dipsticks positioned right there. The magnets have been put back. Then he was able to also work on putting the gasket holder, which is a thin film, here it is, that makes sure that there's no leakage between the coolant, the oil, and that everything works very well and effectively. So the filter was put back after it had been cleaned and well done, and now it was time to also fix other parts of the car, just to make sure that when we bring in the new oil that will do some mileage, everything would work well. So how did you do yours? Have you had issues with mechanics and changing your ATF, or how did your engine or your gearbox system work after being replaced? Look at how these people were able to do the work with immense precision. Young people out there are busy doing stuff, and this young man, kudos to him, he did a great job. I took the car for test later, as you're going to see, and indeed there was nothing being left to chance, because remember, I keep telling mechanics, this car will carry people, it will carry myself, it will carry a family onto the highway. And so any slight jokes or playing around with your work basically means lives could be lost. And so we should never argue about costs. Once we have agreed, it is important to do a thorough job. And that is what these people did, because you do not want to compromise on issues of road safety. How has it been with you and road safety? Have you had experiences with mechanics? Things that you've struggled with, battles that you've done? Did they do a bad job because you couldn't pay them or you didn't agree on any payment? These are very key things that I always make sure as a person we agree, and I stick to one mechanic who understands the car, understands your ways, and you agree on key things. So do you hope from mechanics left, right, and center? How many people touch your car? Do they know it? Have they done a good job? Let's see how they finished the job now. This is about 10:30, 11 a.m. where the sun is scorching hot. But my guys were under the car making sure that everything is done to the lighter, and I loved it. So how is your work? Do you think you're having a hard time? Well, talk to these mechanics who must do this thing despite the blazing sun, hot enough to be able to roast maize. But guys have to make sure the car is fitted and fit well to be able to work, even pick a phone call and get another job being done. Not quite okay, but he knows what he's doing. So the work continued. Finally, it was finished. The new oil system was put in place and we were good to go. So I enjoyed this day hanging out with these people, and I thought I would want to share it with us. So how is your car experience? How is your mechanic experience? Please be able to share, and let's see how to make life amazing. Yes, and so as you have seen, the young man put the final touches on the oil pan, replacing it back after thorough cleaning and change to the CVT system. And now it was time to be able to bring in the new oil, fit it into place, and be able to do the testing, trials, and road run to make sure everything is well. And the supervisor was at hand to do it himself. And here we are putting in the CVT N2 that was put in place, and after that we were good to go. So do everything right. Do not compromise on mechanicals. Do not compromise on parts. Do not even compromise on service charges for these people, because they do a thorough job and they help to keep your car moving and on the road. Many times we do not do good services because of differences in charges, in costs, and wanting to cut corners. Do not cut corners. Keep your car thoroughly safe, because who knows, you could be driving yourself to the dead end. But we want you alive. We want you driving. We want you there for your family and for your future. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. It was a day spending with mechanics and I loved it so much. So let us take care of ourselves. Let us avoid road rage. Make proper decisions. Be humble. Be polite. If somebody is making a mistake, do not fight them back. Remember, they are driving, you are driving. Be the same person. Just go out of your way, do what is right without throwing tantrums. We all want to be safe. Everybody wants to arrive safe. Be happy, drive on, power your car, and have a great, great time. See you alive, see you moving, see you driving safe. All the best. Thank you for listening this far. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for sharing. Looking forward to do great things together in the future. Bye-bye.